Hello, hello. Yes, I have a question for you. I know it's a radio show. I understand it's a radio show. Yes, I know they're talking about the Greeks and 70% of them have no jobs. Yes, and then somewhere down in Italy or Spain, in Spain was the strongest to begin with. I understand that. Yes, and well, this is what I. Yes, if you give me a minute, yes, if you give me a minute, yes. Is this B and O? Yeah, Barry Satoro. Yes, yes, I understand. I understand. But I'm from Canada, so let me ask you a different question. If we don't have any money, does that mean we all have to stop working? If we have no money, does that mean we have to stop living? I don't get this. I just don't get it. Just because we don't have any money, we can't create a new currency for a new exchange. You bring all the people together and say, this is what we're going to do. We have land. We can now use this land to make our own food. Now, if somebody's here and there's a building on the land, well, we're going to build the food inside the building. We need food for the families, for us to live, for survival. Money has no value unless you're going to use it for an exchange of something. Exchange? Hello? Hello? You're still there? You're not hanging up on me just because you have Federal Reserve money and because you owe them a couple of loans and they own your bank. They're your house. Right, right. So they're going to take away your house. And so what are they going to do with your house? They're going to move it into the ocean. No, they're not. They're going to take it into Mars. Well, that's a possibility. But can they really do anything to your house other than put a gateway up on saying home reserve owned by the federal bank? But there's nobody in the federal bank but you and me in Greece. We're the ones working for everybody. We're getting paychecks of their money. Why do we have to take their money? Let's start new money. That's what they were talking about up in Vermont in Freedomizer Radio of Bitcoin. Give me a credit card. That ain't money, but I got to pay it with a sort of money that has a value. So we won't be able to travel across the world because we don't have everybody else's money. But within time, money will come back to have a value. You see, by bringing the money across the borders, we can now cross the borders because we all have the same money. But the value of who we are and where we are is not the same as everybody else. So we can't eat. Is that what you said? We can't eat. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm halfway there. Sienna. So just because we don't use the money that everybody else uses, they say we're bankrupt. We're not bankrupt. I got up this morning. I ate breakfast. I had a hard time finding my eggs. I wasn't sure if they were green or not, but don't you worry. I'm going to tell you something about bacon and eggs a little bit later. Or would you like me to start about bacon and eggs right now? Let me show you something about bacon and eggs. Well, we're talking about grease right now. Get the grease out of the pan, but everything's cooking, everything is hot. It's time for survival, my friends, to remember what brought us here. It wasn't the Federal Reserve. It wasn't because a dollar bill got us to go to China and open up another company. It wasn't the dollar bill that made anything happen without our own will to survive is what made the money work. It's not the money that made us work, it's us that made the money work for us. Here to survive for survival of all times. Do you know what? If you gave me Quebec money and said, well, the only way you can go into the U.S., what am I going to bring Quebec money? So the U.S. will loan all my Quebec money, they'll come all the way to Quebec, they'll buy everything in Quebec, and they'll say, you got to move out. Well, where are we going to move? Move into the West Bank, Lebanon. I'm not sure where they want us to move, but they're always moving us around by playing with the money, and because the money has no more value there, neither does your entity of life. So I want to show you something about this world. This world is perfect. And if we went over the rainbow, or if we went over a soft-boiled egg which had the yellow in the center, we'd be looking at this word right here. 217512. This is what's happening next year. And do you know where I found 217512? Inside a bagel. That's right. The bagel numbers give you this number. Look at this. 2 and 1 is 3. 2 and 1 is 3. 7 and 5 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. Or 12 times 12 is 144. By 12 is the number I'm going to do in my next video. Because it all works out. Bagelette, bacon and eggs, God gave us all the answers inside the foods we eat, inside the animals we see roam, inside the extinction of some, inside the growth of others, from the oceans to the circles to the bays, to the inlets and the unlets, to the outlets, to the omelettes, to the ete of lets, which is bring us the summer again. But what's coming on in this short time of life? We're going to end this video on purpose at 555, because 555, 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125, plus 15 equals 140. I was put on the cross on May 5th of 2005, and they told me by EIEIO, which is 5775, I'd be able to walk around with the cross on one shoulder and a free hand on the other, saying, hey, brothers of peace, hey, brothers of peace, we're going to fix this money thing. We're going to fix this money thing. We're going to put money in its place where money deserves to be locked up in a piggy bank. That's right, because all men became pigs. And the bank or the brink of all men were the Brinks trucks picking up the money, thinking that it had a real value. We work, we hold it. In fact, we're gonna jump to the floor for $1, then we jump to the floor for any holler dollar of anyone who's in the hello, you're the fifth caller, jumping down on the floor. They now used up part of your time, 24 hours in a day, 365 days a year. They're giving you everything for free. But you got everything for free already, and you ain't got time to do any of it. Now you've lost your parole in life. Do you understand? You're on parole. You're in parole in life. 432. Did you remember that number I just showed you again? I'm going to show you it one more time. 217512. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3 equals 5. 7 times 5 equals 35. 7 and 5 is 12 equals 47 equals 2. 5, 2, 2. 110, 110 stories of the Twin Towers. The omelet, she brought them down. What are we supposed to believe? Do you think there's people out there really running to fight wars? Please, take a look at all the countries and really take a look who has actually left their country in the last 30 years to fight a war. That's right. Not very many. We're going to leave it at this, is Raphael 7286. We don't need their money. We have to learn how to live with new creation of something that has a new value so that we can all share and live together. Some of us will be poor because we choose to be poor. We choose to overdrink. We choose to abuse and use. But that's the learning process of love and itself in this world. Love is the fitting of the creation of bringing things together. 9/11, love in two worlds, 9/11. 38, 65, 74, 29, 54, 63, 27, and 18 is the resident angel, the spirit of man of this world, that who we are. A and H, the letters from the A family. A and H, 1 and 8, brings the resident angel, also from the A family, but the first A family was 1 and 8. The next one is the 18th letter. 1 and 8 is 9 of the first one. The other one is 1, is 8, and 1 and 8 is 9. They're all three of the worlds. So once you're 1, you're also a JS. You have to be JS, the junior spirit. Who else are we? Mega Center, Mega Malls, just the way it was sounded before. Another thing, do you want to know something about time and the whore of time? And the whore of who? Horton Hears a Who? Did you remember Horton Hears a Who? What did he actually do in that movie? Because they have Tim Hortons and Time for Hortons. Hortons could be a horse, so what the horse says out of the horse's mouth. I know I'm fooling around a lot with words. I like to mumble jumble and just throw them together and play with them, because that's how you find out the reality of what certain words will bring up other words and meanings and definitions, to where we can put them together and say, ah, if we do it this way, we got a chance. And the guy in the back says, you can't do it that way. And you know what my first thing to the guy is? Explain yourself. If they can't explain themselves, how do you want to better anything? Why did they say it? Make them think and work with them. How can we make the correction? People don't tell the truth. Sometimes words don't have to be said because it's our own. Raphael 7286, my camera just went out on me, so I am stopping this video, and thank you for watching.